Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Music Lab podcast. My name is Dogg, and I'm so excited to be back with all of you for another episode of the podcast. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, our social media pages. That helps us and helps the bands and artists that we feature. Also, check out our sponsor, RAR Outfitters. That's RAWR. Outfitters.com. Don't just wear. RAR. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with you. It is the middle of February, which means we have less than a month before South by Southwest, the music festival that is going to be our ninth time going, the 40th edition, though, of this year's. They announced another 350 artists last week, so I'm assuming that we'll hear some more maybe this week or at least next week. And then we'll dig through them and give you the best of what we have heard so far, as we will today. We've got another Road to South by. This is episode 4, which means we have done 15 bands so far. And with each one of them, including this one, check out our Spotify playlist of all of the songs of these wonderful bands and artists. So like I said, we are going to be in Austin March 12th to the 18th. If you're going, come say hi. We will certainly be on social media letting you know where we're going to be at. We put a spreadsheet together every year. I think last year we made it, I think we did 37 bands last year. So hopefully we can exceed that. And yeah, so let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 5 artists and bands that we are going to feature today on our Road to South by. So first, before we get started, though, I do want to tell you some, because not only is South by about music, it's about film, it's about comedy, it's about TV, and it's about the tech world. So there's going to be all kinds of different kinds of parties that we're going to get to go to, showcases, installations, exhibits, you name it. But some of the cool documentaries that are music related that are going to be world premiered at South by this year, I wanted to kind of, point out because, again, if you're going to be there, you might want to see them. So the first one is a documentary called Jack Johnson, Surfle Music. We also have Lainey Wilson, Keeping Country Cool, Los Lobos, Native Sons, and Noah Khan, Out of Body. So that's kind of cool. And those are presented throughout at venues and at movie theaters in Austin. So our first artist, of course, we got ladies first today, as usually we do. Our first artist, ladies and gentlemen, her name is Camille Schmidt. The albums I'm featuring or that she has released are Nude Number 9, which was released in January of 2025, and then her Good Person EP that was released in 2024. The 3 songs I'm featuring are Stanley, Fish Pills, and Wake Up. Growing up in upstate New York in the woods, surrounded by nature and wildlife, and hanging out at her parents' art studio led to this artistic-themed debut album. An album art for this now Brooklynite who went to Harvard and once worked for Tina Fey. Love, mental health, and humor are all intertwined as Leonard Cohen serves as inspiration in her songs. And I think fans of Wet Leg would dig her. Living with a bunch of musicians after she graduated gave her the confidence to bring her songs into the light, and we are thankful to see her this year. And she is also a fiction writer, so look for her written works in the future. Our next artist, ladies and gentlemen, and band, they are called the Last Real Circus. They released an EP called 1111 in 2021, and they've released singles since. And the songs I'm featuring are Stoned on a Different Kind of Love, Gypsy Woman, and Smile. Jason Farlow is TLRC and a 10-year U.S. Army veteran with his rotating cast of musicians since 2015. He's from the D.C. area but lives in Richmond, Virginia, and caught my ear as soon as I heard his voice. Influenced by bands that I admire, but who suffers from PTSD and often will have his dog Koala on stage with him when he performs. RV life with a teenager, infant, and a lot of love, and working full-time day jobs to make it all work so we can witness him and the band next month. Our next artist, ladies and gentlemen, his name is Merrick Winter, across the pond, and he has released the California Zephyr, which was released May of 2025, and the Eve of Disaster EP in 2023. The three songs I'm featuring are Carry It Forwards, Try Me, and Stalemate. Now, born in Fairfield, Ohio, but since age 12, he has lived in London. And this singer-songwriter grew up on the Beatles and is inspired by Joni Mitchell and Randy Newman as he connects to his music in that way. With an English literature degree, he likes to learn from strangers and other people's stories, and actually use dinner conversations on a 3-day trek on an Amtrak with 8 different people as inspiration for the Zephyr song. He is open for our friends Bastille on their world tour, and he worked with Matt Zara, who has produced Teddy Swims and Niall Horan. Our next artist, ladies and gentlemen, my oh my. His name is Bartly. His album so far is the EP released in 2023 called Hard to Say, and he's released singles since 2020, like songs Worth the Prize, Hard to Say, and Tequila. This 23-year-old Austin-based musician should be on Bruno Mars fans' radar, as he can intertwine pop, soul, and blues, and just won the golden ticket on American Idol, as he got yeses from all the judges, and Lionel Richie told him he could be the clone of Sammy Davis Jr.'s son. That is quite high praise. His parents had him grow up on the Temptations and Lionel, ironically. The song he chose to play for Idol was fellow Texan Leon Bridges' Texas Sun. And South by might be our last chance to see this rising star in a small venue. And our last album, or our last artist or band, ladies and gentlemen, is Electric Enemy. The albums are The Dark in You, which was released last year, their self-titled album, which was released in 2023, and they've released singles since 2020. The three songs I'm featuring are The Dark, Stop Falling in Love, and Afraid. A London-based band led by Jim Lawton and his girlfriend and best friends, who have opened for Jerry Cantrell of Alice in Chains and are in the wheelhouse of Muse, Deftones, and he sometimes sounds like Noel Gallagher. This will be their first time playing in the U.S. during the festival, after touring Europe in the winter of last year and playing the Hard Rock Cafe in their hometown. And I'm hoping to get the band on the podcast, like all of these bands, before the festival, so stay tuned. So there you have it, your 5 artists and bands for our Road to South by 4. We've got Camille Schmidt. We've got the Last Real Circus, Merrick Winter, Bartly, and Electric Enemy. And make sure also, like I said, check out our Spotify playlist of all of the songs of these bands and artists so you can fall in love like I did. Check out our sponsor, RAR Outfitters. That's RAWR.com Outfitters. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and our social media pages. That helps us and helps the bands and artists that we feature. And like always, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Dogg. You've been great. This is the Music Lab Podcast.